Beyond the deep shade of the mangroves, in the leafy suburbs of the lagoon, a blue swimming crab has just finished mating. With the help of swimming paddles, he's now on a search for food. But he's exposed, an easy target for predators. Especially predators from above. The crab makes a lucky escape, and now this African fish eagle stakes a claim to a square kilometer of the lagoon's shoreline. It's prime hunting territory. The tide is pulling out, leaving fish and crustaceans with fewer hiding places. Spectacular vision allows her to pinpoint prey a kilometer away, even beneath the lagoon's surface. It is believed that eagles can see 5 times further than humans, thanks to retinas packed with light-detecting cells called cones. They also have a much deeper fovea, a cone-rich structure in the back of the eye that provides extra magnification. She may be called a fish eagle, but she'll eat almost anything that catches her eye. She's got to be quick and quiet. A powerful 2.5-meter wingspan floats her lightweight frame. It's a deadly combination. The eagle's primary feathers are stiff and overlap to provide resistance as they beat downwards, providing maximum lift. Huge wing muscles account for half of the eagle's total body weight. They guarantee a speedy takeoff. Hollow bones offset the heavy muscle, resulting in maximum flight efficiency. Another crab straying too close to the surface. A textbook strike. The fish eagle's powerful foot exerts 10 times more grip than an adult human hand, while 2-inch-long talons impale the crab's protective armor. Her eyes are the scope, and her feet are the death-delivering bullet. Night falls over the lagoon. Creatures brace themselves for the incoming tide and the dangers it brings. And with the fading light, the Black Lagoon becomes darker in other ways. predatory fish swim in from the ocean. And bizarre creatures emerge to scour the murky depths. While others lie and wait. But one of the Black Lagoon's weirdest inhabitants is on the prowl. This alien-like creature may be a dainty swimmer, but it's a professional killer. The mantis shrimp is neither mantis nor shrimp. It looks like a mantis, but it's a truly unique creature with a sinister reputation. It's hunting now. Its senses alert. Not only does it have extraordinary eyes, it's equipped with razor-sharp spears for arms. This shrimp's forelimbs are like folded daggers with sharp spikes, perfectly designed to stab into the soft flesh of fish. Barbs on the ends of each spear ensure the prey has little chance of escaping. The extensor muscle tenses, but a latch holds the spear in place. When the latch is released, the sudden force of muscular energy unfolds the arm, which travels at 6 meters per second directly into the prey. But it doesn't go after prey. It's looking for the perfect spot to stage an ambush. Spinning may help for excavation, but it's also a display of aggression against potential predators. The lagoon's bigger fish are on the hunt. But the shrimp is secure in its new burrow. The mantis shrimp clears his doorway of loose sand, preparing for the day shift. The burrow can be 2 meters deep, but it'll perch at the entrance as he waits for prey to pass. Fish are all around, but the mantis shrimp needs a smaller one. These are the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom. The eye is made up of 3 separate parts that work together, meaning the mantis shrimp has trinocular vision. The top and bottom sections see a similar spectrum to human eyes, but it's the middle band of photoreceptors that give them superpowers. The midband detects infrared, ultraviolet, and polarized light. In simple terms, the eyes can judge range very accurately. Handy if you're a sharpshooter. It's a good time to be hunting. The tide is high now, and shoals of fish mass into the shallows. The mantis shrimp is ready and waiting. All he needs is for a fish to swim into stabbing range. One last distance calculation. In the blink of an eye, lightning-quick daggers shoot out and stab the fish. The barbs hook in, securing the mantis shrimp's grip. The jagged limbs pull the fish towards the mouth. They're the perfect fishing rod for the perfect predator. Just when the mantis shrimp thinks he's sealed the deal, the injured fish makes a speedy escape. But it's not speedy enough. Supersonic spears, talons, and water pistols. Lagoon predators are unconventional killers. Even jaws are weird here. And how they use their jaws is another level of weird. Deadly weird. This constantly changing environment is a hard taskmaster. Residents have to adapt to the extreme. Creatures of the Black Lagoon are masters of illusion. Drifting seaweed that are actually fish. A desert-like wasteland that's actually full of life. A cowled nudibranch vacuums the sand. But one lagoon resident cheats the eye in a different way. The trumpetfish is the weird cousin of the seahorse. She can change color to mimic the rocks around her. But her best disguise is her angle of attack. Even in plain sight, this glassfish doesn't seem to know she's there. But there's competition. The trumpetfish needs to make a move fast. She edges closer, using the drift technique. The glassfish falls for it. She only has a few teeth, but why chew when you can suck? Early fish didn't even have jaws. Water and food was simply moved into the mouth and strained through filter bars, which later became gills. Then the bones of the first and later second gill arches became the jaws. Scales around the mouth became teeth. Typically, fish hunted by grabbing with a simple snap. Then the game changed. In some fish, the face and jawbones separated, allowing the mouth to extend. The gape and suck technique was born. This proved such an effective feeding strategy that the majority of fish alive today have this jaw design. This grouper is one of them. A system of muscles and levers pull the lower jaw down and open, while the upper jaw is pushed forward and out. The gape opens the throat, and then the gill covers flare out. This creates a pressure difference between the inside and the outside of the mouth, and a powerful vacuum is formed in less than 0.2 seconds. Small fish are literally inhaled, faster than the eye can see. But the gape and suck doesn't end with the grouper. Beneath the sand lies a master assassin. It's practically invisible. Eyeballs are masked by a drape of skin. This fish is almost totally flat, so it's easy to keep a low profile. A moonfish trawls for microscopic zooplankton. It's scanning the water around it, but not below. Like his reptilian namesake, he erupts in attack. At a cool 50 kilometers an hour. This is the crocodile fish. Only the lucky few get away, like this shrimp. But in the lagoon, there's always another killer waiting in the wings. And this one isn't nearly as discreet. The lionfish's striped, sail-like fins keep him floating in mid-water. It's a formidable predator and a skilled suction feeder. But it also has lethal defense weapons. Dorsal spines inject venom into any predator crazy enough to attempt an attack. But the lionfish also has a very rare hunting strategy. Like the wild cat he's named after, he doesn't hunt alone. Working together as a pack, they actively search out their prey. This rocky outcrop looks like a good place to start. Perfect. A nursery shoal seeking shelter in the rocks. The lionfish move in. Their skill is using their far-reaching fins to herd their prey. This nursery shoal is surrounded. With each desperate turn, there's another hunter stalking them. Eventually, there's no hope of a getaway. With the shoal trapped, they all share in the bounty, picking them off one by one. Skulking in the shadows, a secretive serpentine hunter takes weird jaws to a whole new level. Jaws so bizarre, they were incorporated into the extraterrestrial predator in the blockbuster film Alien. The snowflake eel may look snake-like, but it's really a fish, just without pectoral or pelvic fins. It's covered in a layer of mucus, which helps to squash the long body into tiny spaces, making it a good ambush predator. The head is too narrow to create a vacuum to suck the prey in. But there's something altogether different hidden behind those jaws. The army crab's cover is blown. The eel's going to have to get very close to unleash his weapons. Rather than rely on his weak eyesight, he follows his nose. Repositioning himself down current of his target, he sets up an ambush. Lurking in the shadows, he waits. The eel's jaw is armed with sharp, piercing teeth that curve backwards towards its throat to prevent prey from escaping. When the eel has its prey secured, it unleashes the death blow that inspired Ridley Scott's Alien. A second set of jaws lunge forward at high velocity. These pharyngeal jaws clutch the prey and pull it down the throat, whole. Once caught in the double jaw grip, the crab can struggle all at once. Escape is not an option. It will spend its dying minutes deep in the eel's throat. Another crab manages to evade the eel's attention. Only to be taken out by a bigger, more deceptive predator. She is the lagoon's true mistress of illusion. Black a second ago, now bright yellow. A mysterious mutant with a donut-shaped brain and 3 hearts pumping blue-green blood. She's a cuttlefish. The cuttlefish is a mollusk, a spineless, soft-bodied animal. They top the list of the biggest brain-to-body ratio of all invertebrates. And she puts it to good use. She assesses the terrain, then morphs to match the color and even texture of her surroundings. Her secret lies in millions of tiny organs that cover her skin, each of which can be controlled separately. These chromatophores have pigmented sacs that can display red, yellow, and brown. She combines this basic palette to mix more complex shades and patterns. To make her camouflage even more convincing, she takes it to the third dimension. Muscles contract around the pigment cells, forcing them upwards to create little bumps or spikes on the skin. With this arsenal of camouflage at her disposal, she settles down for an ambush. Only her eyes remain unmasked. She's colorblind, but she can detect subtle changes in polarized light, which enhances her perception of contrast. If a victim comes close enough, she'll try to grab it. But if it's not within reach, she unleashes a secret weapon. Two longer tentacles hidden in pouches under her eyes. She's fast and accurate, a voracious hunter. Beneath the 8 frenzied arms, multiple actions are taking place all at once. The cuttlefish strikes with its 2 feeding tentacles. They hand the victim over to its beak-shaped mouth, which delivers a toxic bite. Paralyzing neurotoxins are released, and a jagged tongue, layered with hundreds of tooth-like ridges, shreds the prey. She settles down in the sand to enjoy her catch. In the Black Lagoon, shifting water changes everything. Shoals of fry are constantly on the run. It's safer to be part of the crowd. Hundreds of species use the lagoon as a safe haven for their young. Like this juvenile kingfish. He'll be a formidable open ocean predator one day, but right now, he needs a nursery. These small glassfish also hide out here. But this nursery is no sanctuary. The kingfish may be a youngster, but it's still a killer. Kingfish are built for speed. His oblong and compressed body is a muscle powerhouse. And his forked tail enhances his agility. But the glassfish have a defense weapon of their own. A sharp dorsal spine. And the kingfish still need to learn to hunt efficiently. But practice makes perfect. High tide brings with it a pulsating predator. But it's not alone. Jellyfish invade the lagoon. They're weak swimmers, so they move wherever the current takes them. A quivering mass of 95% water, 3% salt, and 2% protein, with no eyes, no brain, and no supporting skeleton. Yet they're one of the oldest multicellular animals known to man. That's given them plenty of time to perfect the art of chemical and biological warfare. Jellyfish can't chase their prey, but they don't have to. This fish comes seeking shelter. The tentacles make contact, and a stinging battalion is launched. Hundreds of stinging capsules administer lethal injections via harpoon-shaped needles called nematocysts, which punch into the victim simultaneously. It's the speediest killer of them all, unleashing its venom in 700 nanoseconds, which is fast. The virulent poison attacks the heart, nervous system, and skin cells, and quickly paralyzes the fish. Long-finned batfish come looking for scraps. But the jellyfish is a quick digester. It can't run off with its food. And it can't float when it's overloaded. The jellyfish hoists its victim into its body cavity, where it's digested. The nutrients absorbed by the cells that line the walls. Leftovers exit the same way that the meal came in, via the mouth. And soon, dinner is over. The jellies exit the lagoon the same way they came in. This time a little less gracefully. A force greater than any of the lagoon's residents is at work. Nothing is permanent. The tide is sucking back now, ebbing fast. opportunistic predators, now is the time to intercept fish that are washed towards the sea. Enter the big guns. Humpback dolphins. They're one of the ocean's apex predators, but right now they're heading into the mouth of the Black Lagoon. This is no playful excursion. These dolphins are moving in to hunt shoaling kingfish. This hunt needs shallow water, brains, and some daring moves. As the tide drops, the lagoon gets shallower. Rapid clicking noises bounce off the fish and echo back to the dolphins. The dolphins can tell the size, shape, and speed of their prey from hundreds of yards away. The dolphins work in unison to corral the kingfish onto the sandbanks. Still, kingfish are one of the fastest swimmers in the lagoon, and the dolphins take advantage of this. Charging at full speed, they chase them towards the beach. The speed of their forward thrust creates bow waves, which wash the fish up the shore. Strand feeding is a unique behavior, rarely caught on film. For a brief but dangerous time, the dolphins are stuck too. But when you need to eat 15 kilograms of fish a day, it's worth the risk. Tail slapping chases the fish closer to shore. Then, as quickly as it starts, it's all over. The school of surviving kingfish follows the tide out to the open ocean. But they're still being hunted. Beyond the mouth, another of the planet's most feared predators has entered the ocean. This one is hunting alone. Above the surface, he's lethal. But he's not the only hunter down here. He's clever enough to make his own weapons. His expert aim has hit the mark. But he's out of his element, and he has competition. The struggling fish emits rapid, irregular pulsing sounds at a low frequency that attracts another lone hunter. The bull shark. The bull shark's highly specialized senses can locate the injured fish from a kilometer away. But the distressed call of the stricken kingfish alerts other predators to the crime scene. The diver is out of his depth. can't compete with the sharks. A shoal of young fish are leaving the protection of the lagoon. And now they're exposed on all sides. Blacktips. These pursuit predators whip themselves into a frenzy, a rare event caused by a supernormal stimulus in the water. The hunting kingfish are out of their league. They're mobbed. The shoaling sharks don't stop until they've cleaned up everything. On the surface, the Black Lagoon looks quiet, peaceful, and serene. But underneath, in this netherworld between ocean and river, death comes in extraordinary and unexpected ways.
The open plains of the savannah are the perfect playground for speed. But this pursuit of pace has locked both predator and prey into an arms race. A world of action is hiding in the blink of an eye. Colossal armies cross the savannah. Their movements dictated by a much greater power: the weather. The seasonal changes here are dramatic. They set the scene for one of the greatest showcases of speed on the planet. From the familiar big guns to the unexpected and downright weird. Explosive action slowed down 40 times exposes the drama like never before. For 3 months a year, the rich volcanic soils of the southern Serengeti host a 12,000 square kilometer dinner party. The annual rains give birth to a carpet of delicious short grass, drawing hundreds of thousands of wildebeest, zebra, gazelle, and other antelope in for the feast. But at this banquet, predators come with dinner plans of their own. With both predator and prey packed in year after year, these open plains have been evolution's testing ground for speed. The faster the predator runs for his dinner, the faster the prey needs to be to escape. Thomson's gazelle are highly strung. You would be too, if 10 million years of evolutionary design and speed was following you around. Each eye can see nearly 180 degrees. But they have to balance their need to eat while times are plenty with their need to keep a lookout. Survival here is all about a head start in the pace race. Gazelles are fast, very fast. When they've got a hungry predator on their tail, they're reaching speeds of 80 kilometers per hour. Their slower-moving ancestors would never have been able to survive in this modern speed-drenched world. Their secret weapon? Toenails. The development of the hoof in modern antelope, essentially a modified toenail, has enabled the bones of the feet to stay off the ground. Structurally, gazelles now run on their tiptoes, freeing up the rest of the foot bones to lengthen the leg. But they've taken it to the extreme. What was once the bone between the ankle and toes is now as long as the other parts of the leg, increasing their height by several inches. Longer legs equals longer stride equals greater speed. And with this new design, the longer back legs are arranged in a permanent sprinter's crouch, allowing the gazelle to explode forward instantly. Useful when the fastest animal on the planet is on the prowl. The cheetah is undisputed king of speed, holding nature's land speed record for 10 million consecutive years. It reaches top speeds of 120 kilometers per hour. But its acceleration is what's truly impressive. It leaves most of the world's fastest supercars in its dust. Ferrari, Lamborghini, or McLaren are no match. 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, or just 3 strides. Aerodynamics and a lightweight frame enable this astonishing acceleration. Weighing in at only 55 kilograms, its muscles don't have to carry much weight, translating into acceleration instead. And the small head, flattened rib cage, and slender legs minimize air resistance. Once it reaches full throttle, unique design features sustain the speed. The cheetah has an extremely flexible spine, as well as pivoting hips, and shoulder blades that are not attached to the collarbone. This allows the front and rear legs to stretch further apart when fully extended, and move closer together when the feet come under its body, increasing the cheetah's stride length to an amazing 7.5 meters. The cheetah moves so quickly that its feet spend more time in the air than on the ground. Twice during each stride, having all 4 feet airborne at the same time. In a high-speed chase, the long, muscular tail works as a stabilizing rudder. Even its feet are modified for speed. Unlike other cats, cheetahs' foot pads are hard and flat, like tire treads. And the short, blunt claws do not retract completely like lions and leopards. They're designed for grip, like the cleats of a track shoe. These modifications provide the cheetah with increased traction in fast, sharp turns. Of course, an engine must drive this system. The cheetah's enlarged nostrils allow an increase of airflow to the lungs. The respiratory rate climbs to 150 breaths a minute, twice as fast as humans, and the massive heart rapidly pumps oxygenated blood to the muscles. But overheating is a problem for any animal testing limits of speed. Run too fast for too long, and your body cooks, especially the brain. The result: cheetah speed comes with limited range. And that's a weakness its prey can exploit. Gazelles have evolved a way to prevent their brains from overheating. Warm blood from the heart is cooled in an enlarged sinus area before it gets to the brain. A cheetah has to stop running when its body and brain reaches 40.5 degrees. But a gazelle can keep its brain temperature at 40.5 degrees even if its body gets much warmer. This ability to keep a cool head allows the gazelle to sustain high speeds for longer than their nemesis, the cheetah. 6 seconds into the chase, and this cheetah's insane top speed has already put it on the edge of survival. 12 seconds, its heart is taking serious strain, and its brain temperature is dangerously close to the max. 17 seconds, and it's forced to give up the chase. This cheetah has covered just under a kilometer at top speed. Its heart and brain pushed to the absolute limits. 5 more seconds, and it would probably collapse mid-sprint and be dead by the time its body came to a standstill on the dusty plains. So when the heat is on, it's all about timing. Cheetahs have the edge on acceleration and top speed. Gazelles have the edge on sustaining that speed without overheating. It all comes down to who gets a head start. Sharp turns and huge leaps are desperate attempts to stay out of reach long enough to outlast the cheetah. It's down to the wire. Can the cheetah's superior speed close the gap before temperature forces it to stop? One wrong move, or a bit slow off the mark, and the success for the cheetah is an epic fail for the gazelle. But being the fastest animal on Earth can be a curse. A chase leaves it overheating, and its small aerodynamic head design doesn't leave much room for strong jaws. The Serengeti Savannah Speedfest doesn't last long. A few weeks, and the isolated thunderstorms dissipate into thin air. The long, dry season is coming. Wildebeest, along with gazelle and zebra, must head north again, where the grass is not as nutritious, but at least the permanent water sources on the northern plains are more reliable. It won't rain here again for another 7 months. Speedy getaway tactics take a back seat. An epic endurance test awaits. For predators, the feast is also over here. The grass is now greener on the other side. Wildebeest literally follow the storm clouds, zigzagging their way to the bleak horizon. Surviving the dry season means heading north at any cost. No matter what the landscape throws at them. The infamous Mara River is their greatest challenge. The wet season rains have turned this muddy little stream into a frightening obstacle. Deep banks carved by endless wet season floods stop the wildebeest in their tracks. They probably know there's more to this river than meets the eye. The raging waters are the least of their worries. Lurking beneath the surface, ancient beasts are hungry. The arrival of the Great Migration is a chance to deploy both their stealth and their astonishing speed. Within a few days, 1.5 million wildebeest have arrived. Their instinct draws them across, but their fear holds them back. The herd builds up along the riverbank in a great mass. Now it's a numbers game. Jump in with 1 million of your closest friends and hope that you don't become a statistic. They're desperate to get through as fast as possible. But without solid ground under their feet, they've compromised their speedy getaway tactics. The massive Nile crocodiles have been waiting for this for months. Surprisingly, these massive reptiles are far-sighted underwater, unable to focus on objects close by. But that doesn't stop the massacre. Sensory pits in the scales along the side of the jaw can detect vibrations in the water. So they can still hunt in even the darkest, murkiest rivers. Ambush from the shallows is the croc's normal strategy. Massive muscles in the hind legs and the tail launch the croc out of the water at an incredible 70 kilometers per hour. But they need to be close to strike. Eyes, ears, and nostrils on top of the head allow it to hide in centimeters of water. Without warning, it explodes in attack. But here in the Mara, the sneaky lie-and-wait tactics of the crocodilians are abandoned. Dinner is served in the water, and the pickings are easy. Get wet, and you enter the danger zone. Wave after wave of wildebeest continue to crash down the banks. Mass panic drives them forward, as invisible predators launch attacks in deeper water. Some crossing points are traps. The bank's too steep for hoofs to climb. The only escape is to swim back again. The waves of wildebeest seem endless. Days become weeks, and still the fat reptilian monsters hunt. Some kill without ever showing their faces. Finally, as the last stragglers of the huge herds take the plunge, the end is in sight. With one last bite, the slaughter ends. The sacrifice has been immense. Thousands are dead. Some drowned, some trampled, and others torn apart by crocodiles. But these large reptiles are not the only river hunters that use speed to kill. Where the waters run still or spill into small lakes, the skimmer has more serene hunting methods. Its beak is unlike any other. In profile, the oversized lower mandible looks strange, but from the front, it is positively bizarre. It's flattened like a pair of scissors, designed to slice through the water at high speed on a fish-finding mission. This normally happens at night when fish surface to feed. But for a few weeks a year, they're forced to hunt by day. The demands of parenthood mean eating for two, and there just aren't enough hours in the night to cope. Long, scimitar-shaped wings are aerodynamically designed for flying low and fast, hunting by feel. Cruising at 60 kilometers an hour, they dip their oversized lower mandible into the water. If the submarine blade strikes a fish, it instinctively snaps the beak shut. It's a blind assault at speed. Neither skimmer nor fish know what's hit them until it happens. A scissor move catches the fish sideways in its bill. Fish out of water, and it's all over. But the skimmer isn't top of the food chain in this swamp. The fish eagle rules the sky here, and its dinner bell is ringing too. It launches an attack, flying in at 75 kilometers per hour. Flying low, it gives prey no hint that trouble is coming. It also uses the cover of the papyrus bank to get closer. Then it pulls its wings in, building speed. The fish see it too late. And the wing shape changes from speed to power mode. It has to climb again with the heavy fish. In the heat of the hunt, only the talons are used. The fish eagle's beak is reserved for eating. The savanna season is coming full cycle. Wildebeest are restless again. The promise of rains in the Serengeti prompts an exodus from the northern plains. The herds, fat with a new generation growing in their bellies, head south. But wherever they go, hungry eyes will always watch. Lions are the heavyweights of the plains, the largest of the savanna carnivores by a long shot. They're huge cats, but they can reach 80 kilometers per hour. The key is to get close. Safety is in numbers. Thousands of eyes keep a lookout for any predator that crosses the line. But wander away from the herd, and you become a target. Lions can use their bulk to bring down animals twice their own weight. Lunging for the throat, she bites down on the windpipe, maintaining the grip until the wildebeest stops moving. Death by suffocation. And the migration for this wildebeest is over. Another family of hunters also maintains a territory on the savannas. The morning sunshine gets this gang of meerkats out of their 6-foot-deep sleeping burrow. It's time to eat. Every night they lose 5% of their body weight from shivering, trying to keep warm. They forage communally, but unlike the big cats, they don't share their meals, and they have to watch their backs. They're not top dog on these plains. Their top speed is 30 kilometers per hour, impressive for an animal this size, and useful for escaping danger. Whichever meerkat is best fed at the time goes on sentry duty, while the rest hunt for food. Most of their prey is found underground. They will dig their own body weight in soil in several seconds just to get a small insect. Sharp front claws are curved and act as shovels, shifting 10 loads a second. An extra eyelid, called a nictitating membrane, acts as a windshield wiper when dirt flies. Their far-sighted vision is outstanding, the dark band around their eyes reducing glare from the African sun. But there is a flaw in their design. They struggle to focus on anything within 6 meters of themselves. So they rely heavily on smell. But sticking your nose first isn't always the best approach. Experienced adults quickly bite the stingers off scorpions before eating this nutritious snack. But these youngsters don't quite know how to handle the speedy tail yet. Instinctively going for the fattest, juiciest part, the sting takes them by surprise, nailing them every time they go in for a killer bite. Meerkats are not immune to all scorpion venom, and some are deadly. This one can't kill, but its lightning-fast tail is about to give this young meerkat an eyeful. A sting to the eye won't leave any permanent damage. It's just a painful life lesson. But they're at their fastest when danger comes from the air. Above, a soaring killer looms. Meet the raptors. Hooked beak, strong sharp talons, and keen eyesight. The word raptor means seize or plunder. The speed record for savanna birds of prey is well over 300 kilometers per hour, held by the high-altitude hunter, the peregrine falcon. But the low-altitude operators display a maneuverability at speed that even our ultimate fighter planes can't match. Heavy hitters like the Marshall Eagle, powerful enough to knock an adult man off his feet, target small antelope. Stealth bomber eagle owls and the supersonic low-altitude attacks of the yellow-billed kites terrify small mammals. They all have eye muscles designed for rapid focus and a high-resolution retina. And a distinctive beak, curved at the tip with sharp cutting edges, sets them apart from other birds. But they don't use this beak to kill. Talons are their lethal weapons. Powerful toe muscles literally crush their prey to death. Similarities to the giant killer claws of the Jurassic-era raptors are no coincidence. Birds are the closest living relatives of the dinosaurs. The evolution of feathers enable them to outmaneuver the pterodactyls and rule the skies in our modern world. But one of these hunters has returned to Earth for its preferred hunting ground. Chanting goshawks are long-legged. They favor a running attack. Goshawks' unusually large claw on their second toe is reminiscent of the curved talons of the velociraptor. They chase the smallest movements and only use their wings sparingly. Finger-like outer flight feathers allow it to fly at stalling speed. With the best eyesight in the animal kingdom, 8 times better than humans, even the most camouflaged insects give themselves away with the slightest movement. This locust falls to killer speed. The arrival of the migration back on the southern Serengeti plains brings out the big guns again. And this time, an even bigger feast is about to be served. The herds are replenishing their lost numbers, and like everything they do it together. Wildebeest, gazelle, and zebra wait until the rains hit the short grass plains before they give birth, even holding their unborn babies inside until the right time. About 80% of the females give birth within the same 2 to 3 week period. The plains are soon teeming with babies. As endearing as they are, in the predator's eyes, they're just an easy meal. But the overwhelming numbers create a glut, meaning more calves can survive those vulnerable first few weeks. Wildebeest and zebra calves stick with the herd. Gazelle fawns hide in the grass, motionless. Either way, within minutes of birth, they must be able to run for their lives. These zebras are making a crucial pit stop for water. But it's a dangerous place to be, particularly at this time of year. Mothers of all shapes and sizes have young charges in their care. And these mothers know all too well that unseen predators will ambush their babies. Lions, but the zebras see them. So Plan B kicks into action. Create chaos and confusion. With teamwork, lions can take down animals weighing almost a ton. But why punch above your weight when you don't have to? Despite the apparent chaos, their target is already selected. It's the invisible member of the pride who does the dirty work. She was lying in wait from the start. This close, a short burst of speed is impossible to escape. The rest of the pride drove this young zebra into the perfect ambush. Using their power and speed, lions instinctively work together for a single purpose. Another savanna bruiser doesn't bother stalking. In spite of its reputation as a scavenger, hyenas kill rather than steal most of their food. This mean machine just struts in, purposefully not concealing itself, just to measure up its prey. The young, the old, the sick, the weak. That's what they're looking for. Spotted hyenas are built for the chase in an entirely different way to cheetahs and lions. In a sprint, they can reach impressive speeds of 60 kilometers per hour. But their endurance is their biggest asset. They can sustain speeds of almost 50 kilometers per hour over a distance of 5 kilometers, running down just about anything to exhaustion. Strong, well-developed neck and forequarters dwarf the rest of their body, giving them their sinister, sloped-back gait. These muscles fuel the staying power in a long-distance run, as well as providing the power to their jaws. A bite force of 360 kilograms, more powerful than that of a lion or a tiger, allows them to crush even the biggest bones in their prey. Their remarkable digestive system can dissolve large bones and even teeth in hours. The only thing they can't digest is hair. The mother gazelle desperately tries to distract them. Hyenas often use a tag team approach, rotating in and out as they chase down prey. The frantic speed of the gazelles versus the measured lope of the hyenas. Once within Jaw's reach, it's game over for this young fawn. Hyena clans can number up to 80 individuals. Then there's nothing on the savannah that can stand in their way. Not even the king of beasts. But there is very little fighting going on during baby boomer month. There's plenty to go around. Ten minutes after birth, wildebeest can run, and within days can keep up with the adult herd. In the panicky crowds on the savannah, this youngster has not only lost his mother, but has lost his whole herd. Wildebeest calves will imprint on and follow any large moving object in the absence of mum. even large predators. These lions can't believe their luck. Their instincts are to chase and kill. It could be full bellies or the childlike need to learn. But these young lions play with their food before killing it. Eventually, hungry or not, the inevitable has to happen. Despite its brave bursts of speed, the calf is doomed by primal feline instincts. Even in a time of plenty, lions are unable to resist a free lunch. The savannah is a veritable playground for speed. Predators, large and small, each have their own approach. Stealth, strength, teamwork, endurance. But of all the savannah's speed killers, the cheetah wins hands down. On occasion, a band of brothers will even work together to target larger prey. At 110 kilometers per hour, it's a sight to behold. They don't quite have the team planning and coordination that lions have. And their lightweight frame makes the takedown tough, even dangerous. The cheetah is undoubtedly the fastest animal here, by a long shot. It's nature's ultimate speed demon. On this ancient battleground, where speed kills. Cheetahs have conquered the savannah. The marlin is the ocean's speed demon. But what do the jungles of the world hide? How do these secretive animals use speed to kill? A world of action is hiding in the blink of an eye. Along the equator, year-round tropical heat gives rise to the most productive habitats on Earth. At first glance, jungles don't seem to be the home of speed. But look a little closer, and some of the fastest animals on the planet emerge. The flick of a tongue or a murderous leap can easily be missed. The jungle speed demons lie in wait, almost invisible. They're patient. Some don't move for weeks. But when they release their masterstroke of movement, the speed is astonishing. Blink, and you miss it. Until now. At 1,000 frames per second, these bursts of deadly speed are revealed. The forest acts as a giant greenhouse, pumping out vast amounts of oxygen into our atmosphere. And below the thick, impenetrable canopy, a complex community is working just as hard. The brown rat is one of the most successful mammals on the planet. There are over 30 billion of them spread across nearly every country on Earth. But every day in the jungles of Africa, they run a gauntlet of danger. Predatory eyes are watching. But where exactly these monsters lurk is nearly impossible to see. It moves slowly, crossing a network of scent trails lingering behind its target. But the sluggish pace is deceptive. This African jungle monster, only 5 feet long, has one of the fastest strikes on the planet. This heavier, scarier cousin to America's rattlesnakes is the gaboon viper. The rat's keen hearing and sense of smell are its early warning system. But when your enemy has a strike faster than the blink of an eye, early warnings are pointless. And its weaponry is formidable. Gaboon viper's fangs are the longest in the world. So long that there isn't space in their mouth for them unless they're folded away. Add to that enough venom to immobilize an entire army of rats. It almost seems overkill. But killing is the name of its game. And the prey is no pushover either. The rat is capable of impressive turns of speed. And its teeth can bite through the snake's scaly armor, exposing it to deadly infection. It's motionless and almost odorless. The rat is unaware that a monster lies only a few feet away. The gaboon viper's strategy, like so many jungle predators, is to wait. Wound up like a spring, it's poised to strike. Now, she just needs to wait for her meal to come to her. But the jungle has other plans. Rain stops play and sends everyone scurrying for cover. The viper doesn't bat an eyelid.
Eventually, the vulnerable jungle creatures have to emerge to forage. Snakes can go for weeks, sometimes months, without eating. But this viper is hungry now. It unleashes a strike so fast, even the nimble-footed rat doesn't stand a chance. This gaboon takes less than 0.1 seconds to strike and sink its fangs into the rat. Less time than a bolt of lightning takes to reach the ground. Slow it down 40 times, and astonishing violence is revealed. Half a second later, and the rat is released before it can turn to bite. A moment in time for the viper, but a death sentence for the rat. How does the gaboon viper do it? What are the mechanisms hidden within its body that allow this almost supernatural speed? All that bulk is pure muscle. Like all snakes, muscle segments repeat along the entire length of the spinal cord. The gaboon viper contracts these and other muscles between the ribs to tighten its coils, storing energy. Its fat body literally acts like a coiled spring. When this tension is released, energy expands forward, propelling its head at devastating speed. The massive hinged fangs are brought down from the roof of its mouth. They penetrate deep, piercing soft organs such as the stomach and lungs. Powerful muscles contract around the huge venom glands, injecting death through the hollow fangs. All this in half a second. The rat limps off, but this female gaboon viper just waits. In seconds, the tissues are literally melting, blood pouring into the eyes. The tissue-destroying venom quickly stops the rat in his tracks. Its prey safely immobilized, the snake can now approach. A meal this size will keep her going for several weeks. The gaboon viper doesn't wait for the rat to die. Throat full, its windpipe pushes forward, allowing it to continue breathing. The rat takes its final breath. Death is not instant, but the killer was speed. High above the drama on the jungle floor, another hunter lies in wait. In plain sight, yet virtually invisible, it's a master of disguise. With its zen-like appearance of quizzical intelligence, it's not surprising that the praying mantis has been worshipped as a god. But those arms and their prayer-like pose conceal a murderous intent. The only thing this mantis is praying for is another meal. And she won't think twice about turning cannibal to satisfy her insatiable hunger. Pregnant mantis females are very intimidating. Reports of snakes or even small birds and mammals succumbing to its death grip are no myth. A smaller male mantis is a pushover in comparison. Their eyes look like they have pupils, but it's just an optical illusion caused by reflections. The eyes are made of 10,000 separate specialized zones, offering excellent stereoscopic vision, able to see up to 15 meters away. Grooming himself, this male doesn't realize that the female in town is not looking for a mate. She's looking for lunch. Her spring-loaded prayer stance strikes in 30,000ths of a second. Faster than the eye can see. The powerful spiked forearms have a crushing grip that is near impossible to escape. And a mantis eats its prey alive. Unless they resist, then decapitation is the preferred method. This male is about to lose his head over his female. But the food chain doesn't end here. With names like Trioceras, Bradypodian, and Archaeus, you'd think we'd step back into the Jurassic Age. But these cold-blooded beasts are one of the most successful hunters in the jungle today. You've got to be quick when your meal moves this fast. Well-developed eyes mounted in turrets on the side of its head allow it to see almost 360 degrees. There is nowhere to hide. These strange reptiles are chameleons. Slow, deliberate steps allow them to get close to their target. Chameleons are not designed for the chase. But they don't have to be. Distance is calibrated. Firing mechanisms are loaded. Target engaged. Its secret weapon? A ballistic tongue that accelerates at over 40 Gs. In other words, its high-speed acceleration produces a force 40 times greater than the pull of gravity. That's more than 10 times the G-force a NASA space shuttle has on takeoff. There is nothing in the jungle that can outpace the chameleon's tongue. It is deadly accurate, often aiming for the head to minimize retaliation from its prey. While in stealth mode, it rocks back and forth to look at its target from various angles, calculating distance. Then both eyes focus on the target to lock down final measurements. Finally, the tongue is shot out of the mouth at 400 meters per second. That's about 1,500 kilometers per hour. But how does it achieve these seemingly impossible speeds? The secret weapon is its tongue bone, a long spike called the hyoid horn. The hollow tongue fits over this bone like a sock. Muscles in the skull jerk a horseshoe-shaped bone backwards, shooting the horn out of the mouth. This gives the tongue initial momentum, but then muscle action adds to the speed. Accelerator muscles squeeze the bunched-up tongue off the tapered spike, like squeezing a watermelon seed, except in this case, the seed stays still and the squeezer flies off. Added to the supersonic mix, spirally wound fibers, stretched like a rubber band, contract and slip off the end of the tongue bone. The tongue flies forward up to 1.5 times the chameleon's body length and hits the prey in 30,000ths of a second. Once you're on the radar and in striking distance, chances of escape are slim. But the fastest tongue on the planet means nothing when predator becomes prey. For a monkey, a chameleon is an easy meal. Right now, about 1,000 trillion ants are walking the planet. Some reach speeds of about 300 meters per hour. Slow in our world, but scale it down and that's 16 times faster than an ant-sized human would be able to walk. They can also carry up to 20 times their own body weight, the equivalent of an average male human lifting a car and carrying it for several kilometers without a break. But what's truly impressive is their teamwork. Ants work cooperatively to overcome and eat much larger insects. In fact, they'll eat almost anything, even small reptiles, amphibians, or mammals. But alone, they are vulnerable. Like an alien landscape, huge craters pockmark the jungle floor. Huge if you're an ant. These are actually giant pitfall traps, and buried at the bottom of each one, a real-life monster lies hidden. The inspiration for horror movies, these predatory larvae are called antlions. Not fast enough to chase its prey, the antlion plows its energy into construction instead, and then waits. The engineered conical pit has such steep sides that the lightest touch starts a landslide. This ant is lucky. The lightning-quick jaws of death are normally not so forgiving. Antlions possess huge sickle-like mandibles with several sharp teeth-like projections. These jaws are hollow, and like hypodermic needles, they pierce their victim to suck the fluids out of their body. Stiff hairs face forwards, anchoring it in the sand. Jaws open, it's ready to strike. This ant is blundering toward a slippery slope. The ground gives way under its feet. And soon it's at the bottom of the pit. The antlion launches shovel loads of sand at its staggering victim, hoping it will slip within reach. The ant makes a desperate bid to escape, but an avalanche throws it right back into the kill zone. The antlion creates these sand explosions by snapping its body, jerking its head in a lightning-fast upward motion, sweeping the prey down again towards its waiting jaws. The mandibles snap closed on any part of the ant, immobilizing it. Now, the real horror show begins. The helpless victim is battered to death. With no mouthparts for chewing, the antlion uses unique hollow jaws to inject toxins to liquefy their prey's innards. The ant is finally pulled into a shallow grave, where it is sucked dry. Strung between the branches of the jungle canopy, these delicate fibers defy science. They're the largest and strongest webs in the world, spanning up to 2 meters across, and they are specifically designed to foil speed. A line of insect husks acts as an aerial warning to any small birds that might fly by. The web is stronger than steel and Kevlar, but far more flexible. It's the envy of the industrial age. No one has yet replicated spider silk, despite 2 decades of intensive scientific effort. The architect of these webs, the golden orb spider, lies in wait at the edge. Her long legs testing the tension for telltale signs of her next meal. But she doesn't use her speed to kill. She uses the speed of her prey to kill. Once a flying insect hits the web, the vibrations alert her to the latest victim. Her web is made of two types of silk. Stiff, dry strands are the structural fibers holding it all together. These are the ones she walks on. And thinner, stickier spiral threads trap the prey. Unlike any other natural or man-made fibers, the silk has the ability to soften or stiffen to withstand different types of loads put on it. Amazingly, the spider is able to adjust the intensity of the color of its silk to match background light levels. Even the web's architecture attracts insects. Bright white zigzag patterns reflect ultraviolet light like flowers do. The promiscuous females build the web. The males are freeloaders, so tiny in comparison that they can live on the web, steal her food, even inseminate her without her noticing. The giant female is usually mounted while distracted with a new prey item. Spider silk starts off as a liquid protein, produced by a gland in the female's abdomen. Using her spinnerets, she forces these protein molecules through long ducts which rearrange the molecular structure, turning them into solid golden silk. Scientists simply can't replicate this process. Artificial spinning methods, even genetic engineering and stem cell attempts, have all shown limited results. If they ever do succeed, spider silk could become standard in thousands of products, from seatbelts and bulletproof vests to suspension bridge wires and even artificial tendons and ligaments. But until then, it's exclusive to the spider. Even if some guests don't always stick around for the meal. And some help themselves to a free lunch. But with the right aerial attack, the spider can also become someone's dinner. The jungle nights bring a whole host of new creatures out of hiding. Winged mammals take to the skies in their millions, keeping the insect population in check. But the larger animals of the jungle also have reason to fear for their lives when the sun disappears. Right at the top of the food chain, a spotted coat makes for super effective camouflage. These ambush predators can leap 6 meters in a single bound. But leopards prefer to take advantage of the dark. In the daylight, their job isn't easy. Getting close is hard work. Sometimes dangerous work. Chacma baboons are fierce fighters and capable of bursts of speed to match the leopard. Both have been clocked at 56 kilometers per hour. Sentries are posted and scan the area for any further signs of trouble. The leopard can only watch as the baboons forage in the open clearings. It can't risk another daylight confrontation with the troop. But its time is coming. The scales are about to be tipped brutally in its favor. As the day dies, fear awakes. Baboons have poor night vision, so it's time to think about a safe place to spend the night. The treetops are their refuge. But this safe haven is an illusion. Leopards are born climbers too. Longer, muscular hind limbs provide thrust for jumping, while the shorter forelimbs have shoulder blades positioned to the side to provide space for better climbing. Pound for pound, the leopard is the strongest climber of all the big cats. And he prefers to hunt in darkness. Moonlight can betray this big cat, but with his dark, adapted eyes, he still has the upper hand. Leopards have an uncanny ability to move in silence. Slow, meticulous placement of his feet edge him closer to the baboon's roost. The moon disappears, and the baboons are practically blind. Thick pads under the cat's paws act as silencers. The baboons don't have a clue from which direction the attack will come. In seconds, the safe haven of the canopy is busted wide open. The final leap, a reach with extended claws and a killer bite to the back of the neck, and it's all over. The rest of the troop can do nothing but sound the alarm and retreat to the surrounding trees. Tonight belongs to the leopard. Otherworldly screams, camouflaged predators, and noxious plants give jungles a menacing reputation. But they're the most vital habitats on the planet. Covering only 6% of the Earth, they supply more than half of the world's fresh water. Where jungle rivers run over sand, the clear waters are a paradise. But this paradise can turn deadly at frightening speed. Beneath the still surface of these rivers lurks a ferocious predator with teeth to match his attitude. It stalks the jungle rivers, instigating a reign of terror. Streamlined muscular bodies allow them to navigate through strong currents with ease as they move in pursuit of prey. Its Latin name directly translates as the striped water dog, These are tigerfish, Africa's answer to the piranha. They hunt in like-sized packs, no fish bigger or smaller than the other. They're also cannibals. They're smaller relatives of food. Eventually, when they get too big, up to 10 kilograms, they hunt alone. In the path of these marauding monsters, no fish is safe. Schools of juveniles have even been known to attack larger land animals venturing into the shallows. Although some jungle creatures are clearly too big for dinner. Tigerfish are brutal hunters, using speed to stun their prey. More often than not, they just swallow the meal whole. A vicious burst of speed outgunning any attempts at escape. In short bursts, their sleek bodies reach speeds of over 48 kilometers per hour. Impressive for an environment 800 times denser than air. They hunt along reed beds, waiting for small fish to emerge. But speedy attacks require lightning-fast reactions. At the top of its skull, an internal air sac reacts to vibrations, alerting the tigerfish to movement nearby. Reflexes instinctively react to these cues, and the fish swings into attack mode, mouth first. Strong swimming muscles, more dense than any other fish in the jungle rivers, propel their broad tuna-like tail. The tigerfish is built for speed. Far above the rivers, a stealth bomber flies over the jungle canopy. Even from these heights, soaring at top speed, you can spot tiny prey on the ground. This is the spotted eagle owl. Its vision is excellent during the day, and better than most during the night. Even these huge eyes, however, cannot see in total darkness. So the eagle owl's real secret weapon is its hearing. Its ears are positioned within the facial disc around the face. Like a satellite dish, its face captures and amplifies the sound of moving rodents and insects. The spotted eagle owl can pinpoint the source of these animals, enabling it to launch, fly, and pounce on its prey. While these lizards have excellent vision, its favorite prey, the rodents, have exceptional hearing. But this aerial hunter has one more design feature that gives it an extra advantage: stealth. Its feathers are soft and fluffy. But unlike any other bird, owls have a comb-like fringe on the leading edge of their wing. This breaks up the air current and muffles the sound. It flies in absolute silence. All birds of prey use their powerful talons to strike, never their beaks. And the momentum of a speedy approach packs a deadly punch. Dinner goes down almost as fast as the attack itself. But the killing doesn't stop here. In the dense forest, other speed freaks are hiding. Spiders. The jungles are crawling with them. Their talent for speed isn't obvious until they decide to kill. Tarantulas, fishing spiders, baboon spiders. Each exploits a different part of the jungle with their specialized hunting techniques. One of the fastest movers is only a fraction of an inch long. But it's a brutally effective hunter. And this rotting carcass is covered with its favorite prey. These flies are being hunted, but they're a tricky moving target. Flies are among the most rapid of all flying insects, a seemingly impossible challenge for a hunter half their size. Their wings beat about 250 times a second, much faster than even the electrical impulses in their brain. And it takes them only several wing beats, or about 50,000ths of a second, to completely change direction. Moving their wings side to side, more than up and down, these insects essentially swim through the air. It takes an extraordinary hunter to tackle this aerial gymnast. The jumping spider. These tiny spiders can jump up to 50 times their own body length in a flash. Speed, accuracy, and flexible decision-making are essential ingredients in this hunt. Spider leg muscles are typically weak, so this species has turned to hydraulics. A large, powerful muscle in the thorax contracts, forcing blood into the hind legs. This rising surge of high-pressure fluid rapidly extends the legs. Permanently poised to jump, the spider chooses a target. Even slowed down 40 times, they're speedy. Exceptional 3D vision, unique to the species, enables them to gauge distance. Misses are rare. And this fly is grounded. Another flyer swoops into the race for speed. The African goshawk. The huge claw on the second toe is unique to goshawks. These weapons are deadly at speed, and not even the dense jungle canopy can slow this hunter down. It can fly at 61 kilometers per hour and reach 214 kilometers per hour in a dive attack. This speed comes down to the shape of the wings. short, rounded wings are adapted for flying in this dense environment, allowing the silent killer to move beneath the dense canopy. Short wings are less likely to snag than long wings. The odd shape reduces drag, so acceleration isn't compromised. Unlike other birds, it doesn't need to slow down to turn. But of course, regardless of the wing design to maintain speed and avoid collision, you need exceptional sensors to achieve this. Hawk eyesight is the best in the animal world. Their eyes have up to 600 million photoreceptors per square inch, and a second set of eye muscles not found in any other animal. A bony ridge above the eye protects it from injury while hunting and adds a menacing appearance. The African goshawk is a master of his environment, using speed with incredible focus. Speed comes in many shapes and forms in the jungles. Ballistic tongues, lightning-fast strikes, bloodthirsty leaps. Each creature here specializes in an extreme design feature in order to survive. This amazing array of species transforms the jungle from a leafy paradise into a technical battleground where speed kills.